Path of Exile 2 update 0.2.0, Dawn of the Hunt, is coming out on April 4th this year. And after 4 months of being in early access, it's highly anticipated, to say the least, for the player base. And it's anticipated that it will bring some of the most significant changes we've seen in the game yet. And what is anticipated even more is the nerfs more than the buffs, but hopefully it's the other way around. But knowing Grinding Gear Games' reputation, when they nerf something, they nerf it hard. It has just been their reputation since Path of Exile 1, without a shadow of a doubt. Now these nerfs will affect some of the most dominant builds, including major nerfs to, of course, Herald of Ice, Hand of Wisdom in Action, Grim Feast, Energy Shield as a whole, among other things. And that's the scary part, is that it will definitely shake up those builds to where hopefully they will not become a former shell of themselves and still be viable. But like I said, based off Grinding Gear Games' reputation, probably not so much. And this is what I'm hoping for, like a lot of people are anticipating, is that they're going to nerf anything, let's hope they made a change and they don't nerf it into the ground. They don't nerf it hard, just a little bit. And I know a lot of the streamers and YouTubers are saying, oh, you should nerf it, it's overtuned, especially like Energy Shield. But I don't agree with that at all. If you're going to tone it a little bit, don't make it not viable. Bring other things up, like armor and life, compared to Energy Shield and Evasion, so they're all viable, and remove the penalty for armor, please. It's just one small thing. I know they're going for something different here, but different's fine to a point, but at the end of the day, the player base wants one thing, and that's it. They want to zoom eventually, and they want to feel good. Now, speaking of buffs, what we anticipate is they do several buffs to a lot of underused skills and mechanics to hopefully make them more viable, adding new possibilities for build diversity, which the game needs a lot. A lot of builds are pigeonholed into one or a few different play styles, and that's pretty much it. A la Energy Shield and Grim Face, that's one of the, and Hand of Wisdom in Action. A majority of the builds use that, especially Gemling, Stat Stacker builds, Spark builds, you name it. Everybody wants it. Monk builds, just Ice Strike builds. I've been using it a ton. You'd be a damn fool not to use them. Now, another big change that we are all anticipating that they announce, is coming in the form of maps being rebalanced and making the endgame experience more well, maybe not more challenging, but more rewarding and smooth, and give us the more defensive barrier, which is the 6 portals we get. Path of Exile 1. The majority of the player wants that back. They say the best defense is 6 portals, and that is true as hell. Everybody knows that. That is, because nothing feels worse than dying on a map to some bullshit thing that happened, especially a white mob that poisoned you or something, just for you to die, lose all that loot in that map, and you lose the map as a whole. Anything you juiced on there is gone, and that feels terrible. You don't want to play the game after that. I know there's been many times I've just walked away, even though I've came back and played it, but still, it's a terrible feeling. Nobody wants that. Now, we want other things too. Boss fights, enemy scaling, we need loot distribution to be adjusted to ensure a smoother progression as a whole in the end game to make it more robust and fulfilling. Example 2, give us an option to have a boss at the end of every map to fight, just like a PoE 1. We get to fight, because a lot of people want that, including me. Or give us an option, either a boss at the end of the map, or you get to kill all the rares. Or if you want an even more challenge, all the rares and a boss. Give us a choice to do it, not a restriction of it. That's all I want here. Now here comes the bigger issue here of what these reworks that are anticipated here, the buffs and the nerfs, about what it's going to do, create a bit of a fork in the road for the player base as a whole, for them to either adapt to this or move away from the game or the franchise as a whole, because they don't want to see, they don't like what they see, they don't like the changes. And Grinding Gear Games has made controversial changes in the past, especially Path of Exile 1. A lot of players not happy about. I think it was around the Lake of Calandra update or league that changed a lot. I think it was like the ground loot or something like that. That was a horrible change, and the league itself was incredibly mid, and things like that. And let's hope we don't see things like that in the future. Of course, they're going to have some stinkers, that's inevitable, but hopefully nothing of that scale. Now, naturally, these changes have sparked worries within the player base. Some fear that certain play styles may be rendered obsolete, while others, welcome the challenge of a fresh new meta. I know I do. Diversity is great. Now, it begs the question here, is Dawn of the Hunt a true game changer that we all hope it will be? Or will these adjustments that the developers are going to do, that we're anticipating, will they divide the community as a whole? It remains to be seen. But we just have to wait until March 27th, which that's when the live stream is going to happen. And I'm sure it's going to be a doozy too, as they're going to tell us all the changes we're going to be making. And once that comes around, we'll be able to break down all the key changes in the update and discuss how it's going to shape the future of Path of Exile 2 and go from there. So that was all I have for you guys today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Catch y'all in the next video. Peace out, Cub Scouts.